house shaper.
Yeah.
Every house district has an ornament to be artist from the
I've got
Really?
some of those. I've got some of those ornaments. That's cool.
So you change them every year, or?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So what do they do with the ones that?
So typically,
Yeah, no, it's one thing.
back to the artist.
Oh yeah.
If they don't want it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. If we get into that discussion.
Wow. Grazie.
Well, we won't have any trouble policing that. Sell through something. Just wave your wand and it goes away.
Back 8 o'clock, it's just the whole street's covered.
Thing of it is, in most of the corporations, the city limits, it sounds like the Civil War. If you call that like 9/11.
People call into the city.
Yeah. I think that man becomes a challenge. I think it's one of the. I was a kid.
You'll know you can't have it.
Yeah, I was a kid once, I understand that.
I tried to hide from ours every now and then.
Sometimes I think it's planned to get a couple of teams on opposite sides, and they seem like keep everybody running back and forth. Okay, your turn.
Y'all ready? Yep. Good morning. It's 10:04. Call this meeting of Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Please rise. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Finn Cannon to give the invocation.
Prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for being you and allowing us to be here today, Lord. Thank you for the cooler weather. Thank you for everything you do for us, Lord. Please be with us, be with our country, be with our state, be with our community here in our county. Give us the strength to stand true to our beliefs and make the best decisions we can for the county while we're here working. Also, Lord, special prayer today for Willie Wall, that he continues doing what he wants to do and is able to go into retirement and be happy and be able to move forward. Lord. All this we ask in your Son.
Amen. Thank you. Don't join me in pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge, please. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Take seats, please. At this time, we're trying again today, but Sheriff Duke is under the weather and at the doctor right now. He sent me a text, and so third time be charmed. We'll hopefully do that next Tuesday. Or 50, or we go. Yeah.
Can we find him in contempt for not showing up for the board?
Yeah. Well, we've got to put it in last week, then we could have doubled it this week. And, okay. I will open us for public comments at this time. It's 10:06. Anyone on the phone or in the audience wish to make any announcements? Ms. Bohannon, did you have anything you wanted to announce this morning?
Oh, so you want me to do it? We did have our employment interview, or whatever you want to call it, for the election manager. And I would like to know, which you all know her, Penny Baxley is now the new election manager.
Congratulations.
Right. Congratulations, Penny. Okay, anyone else have anything to bring to the court this morning in the way of announcement? Okay. Hearing none, we'll close the public comments at 10:06 also. Okay, I'd ask the court to take a look at the consent agenda. They may be on the phone.
I do have a question about number 7. Couple of questions.
Okay.
The $438,000, looking at the back, paperwork in the back, there's nothing that shows what that's for. I'd like to, all it shows is a.
Yeah, I
change
should have
order.
had all, I can get you all of that. Basically, it covers PRs, most of which we've already approved throughout the court. PRs 2, 3, 6, 8, 10, 23, 24, 30, 31, 32, 33, 36, 37.
Okay.
Okay, let me, if you give me 1 second, I'll run into the printer. I forgot to grab something off the printer this morning and I can get that. It should be on, it should be the contingency spreadsheet.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it should have been on,
This
it's
is
attached
another
to.
question for the auditor. Is anybody on the phone at the auditor's office?
Cheryl or Matt, are y'all on the phone? Or Michael?
Judge,
Okay.
maybe you can answer.
Okay, maybe.
There's 4.4 million that's there for courthouse renovations. As of right now, are those funds, are all that 4.4 going to be paid out of ARPA? Because there's not enough in permanent improvements to pay that. So I'm just making sure that all that 4.4 is out of ARPA.
Okay,
On that.
part of this has already been paid,
Okay.
so don't look at that amount. And I don't know how much of that's been paid. Some of it is ARPA, some of it was not. That may help you there.
The only reason I ask these questions is $438,000 a lot, not to have what it's for.
Well, yeah, it should have been, I didn't put the agenda item in there,
Everything on
so
here that's approved has already been retrieved?
not everything. There are a few additions. Let me get to the additions that we've added. Oh, I didn't print out the second page.
Well, a lot of this stuff is things that we've been talking about as the projects have moved along, Mark, is it not? These are-
Yeah, there's a couple of additions that aren't reflected on what I just handed you out. I didn't print the second page. And that may be Glenda joining us on the phone. Glenda, was that you that just got in?
Yes, sir.
That's not, maybe Matt.
All right, we're talking about the change order,
Okay.
okay? So there's a couple of new items. One was a request from our office to change some stuff in our workroom, to add a work table. That's reflected in this change order. There's also some changes in the new elevator lobby to add some casework for a display case within that lobby. There's some fur out that we had to change as far as drywall was concerned. But the two bigger changes were with what we're adding in our office and what's being done in the elevator lobby.
So,
I
just find it hard to vote on something we don't know.
No, and again, I didn't put the agenda item on there, so there's 81 pages associated with it. I can forward that to you.
Well, we can pull it off until Monday, but something triggered us to put it on there.
Yeah, it was sent over from Harper Perkins, so, but all the support documents.
I'd rather not vote on it until I have a chance to look at it. I'd like to vote on that kind of.
Okay.
The other thing I would encourage y'all, we get you the agendas on Friday.
I looked, I didn't see it.
Well, no, but that would be a good time to ask Ben, and we might have been able to have it for you today. Not a big deal, but that's why we tried to get them out early, is for you all to be able to look at them. hopefully they're out on Thursday afternoon, but often by the time people exceed the Wednesday noon cutoff, or we can't go without this, you know, it delays those getting out. But that's, so just, we want to remove that one then.
Next question I have is number 10.
Yes, sir.
As far as the election manager, is that position going to stay underneath the county clerk? Are we leaving it, or are we going to leave it at 409?
Okay. It's right now, that we're removing the position from 409 underneath the county clerk as county clerk's employee. The goal in this is to consider moving to an elections administrator between now and the first of the year. But the idea was to have a person there and see how they went. We didn't know. Of course, Penny's worked in office for a couple decades, maybe even 3 or 4. But at any rate, was to see how this works out and then make that transition to the elections administrator. The court has to vote on it, and then the statutory body made of the county judge, the county clerk, the tax assessor collector, and each party chair then decides on who the elections administrator will be.
So right now, and I don't mean this, the reason I'm asking this, we're trying to shoot for elections administrator, which I'm good with that. I'm all for that. But as of right now, the election manager will still be underneath the county clerk. So going into the next elections, she won't really be a standalone trying to do it herself.
Right.
So she won't even have an election at all under her belt prior to the first, other than just doing the same thing she's done under your direction.
Well, that may,
She will have this election.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be there for support. She will probably be doing most of her and are going over the things that needs to be done. The reports, the calendar, that way she will be ready to take over hopefully in January, depending on the commission.
That's my only question.
okay. Anything else on the consent agenda? Okay.
Is that number 8, the Unit 61, is that one of the rec?
Yes, sir, that was the one part
I
of Brian's
thought
house.
that, we had talked about that earlier, so, yeah, I thought that was.
And,
Make a motion to
okay,
approve them taking out.
Can we look at Amber also?
yeah.
Yeah.
We want to remove it because we didn't get back the executed copy of the contract.
So move 11 also.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Fincannon. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Judge.
Thank you. Any other comments? Anyone in the audience or on the phone? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, first item on general business is review and approve the regular bills for payment. Order the county treasurer to disperse payroll and bill payments within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered at the treasurer's office.
So moved, we reviewed the bills Friday.
Any comments by anyone in the audience or on the phone? Okay. Motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve the bills. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item 2 is discuss, consider, take action to determine if a burn ban is necessary based on the current Keach Byram index level and the weather conditions in Wichita County. We received a report from Mr. Nauman. We still do not exceed the limits, but the comments are made that it is a dangerous fire conditions exist in Wichita County according to the Texas Forest Service. I sent you all some information. A number of counties are trying to figure out, just like we are, what to do, whether they can institute a burn ban and prohibit fireworks, that would still have to be approved by the governor, otherwise it lapses in 60 hours. A lot of fireworks have already been sold already. I don't think it's going to do what we want to do to eliminate the exploding of fireworks. That horse is already out of the barn. Whether we want to institute a burn ban and the restrictions, we put on outdoor welding and at work and that kind of things, that would be a consideration, certainly, but,
At the current
I'm already
rate,
hearing fireworks in my neighborhood.
at the current rate of increase in the KVDI, we'll exceed that before the next time we meet, so.
Unless we get rain tonight or in the morning, slim chance of that.
Very slim, yeah.
Yeah.
What percentage are you giving us, Jeff?
Well, it's just like that guy told us that one year, we'd only get we won't have any snow, but we could get up to 3 inches. He was only 12 inches off.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You said something, Judge, that always comes up in discussion, and I think it's a very pertinent part of it. Man on fireworks is almost impossible to police. I mean, I'm sorry, we don't have the personnel to go and do it, especially countywide. When you talk about hearing them in your neighborhood, it's against the law if you set them off in your neighborhood.
It is,
I mean,
yeah, it is.
To me, that
And I told my wife that.
yeah. we were all kids.
Now I know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And we took that as a challenge a lot of times, when you can't, I don't know, I don't regard anything up, and it is very treacherous out there. But, from a practical standpoint, it's just, I don't know how you do it. We've got law enforcement in the room.
You just call, and in between calls, you might stumble across somebody, but it is calls usually after the fact, the time they're done.
Yeah.
And
They're pretty mobile.
and they drove away and left their mess there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wish there was a magic wand, but I don't know what it is. I own rural property, and I think we're going to be we're going to be in a very dangerous situation if somebody goes to setting fireworks off. But, look at the sign, folks. We need to remind everybody. It's already against the law to shoot them off on public right-of-ways. And yet that happens all the time. And we just don't have the personnel to have somebody looking over everybody's shoulder. Just from a practical standpoint, we just don't. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think any of the private property owners, including myself, around the property that I own, are going to be allowing anybody to set off fireworks. So maybe we won't be in too big a danger, but.
Well, I have on my farm let people shoot fireworks, but where I plowed.
Well,
We try to be real specific where I'm sending them to, but they're,
we don't plow anymore, and that's made it more of a challenge, and I wished I had the answer, but I don't.
Well, part of it is citizens taking a responsibility. If they see someone doing that, don't confront the people, but get the license tag number, do what you can do to get the best trips, call law enforcement, and let law enforcement deal with it. Chief, that seems like to me that's the way to do it. You all, I know we're already stretching your people pretty thin, but you will have significant participation over the fireworks weekend.
we'll just put it all on your shoulder.
Well, our civil attorney's in the room, and it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm not, you're civilly liable if you burn somebody's property down, whether there's a ban in place or not. I mean, isn't that basically correct?
Sure, so
Yeah,
they can take
you're
a
liable.
judgment against you.
So keep that in mind whenever you're doing that. If you start a
Unless you
fire,
have anything.
yeah, you're,
Judgment's a piece of paper. That's not gonna rebuild my house,
no, it's not.
so.
But, and I full well understand that, but still, it doesn't strengthen that. That stays the same no matter what. So, You know, that piece of paper isn't gonna rebuild your house whether there's a ban on or not. That's the point. It doesn't change that.
Well, the agenda items for burn ban, not really for fireworks. And
That's true.
We're right on
Yeah,
the,
but that, they can ride on the heel of that with
Yeah.
an emergency declaration at night.
yes, sir.
You know,
As close as we are, and with really no relief in sight for real, it doesn't look like things are going to improve over the week. I would make the motion that we go ahead and reenact the burn ban.
I'll second that. I think that's not a bad thing.
anyone in the audience have any comment? What about on the call-in phone? Anybody?
I do have just one statement to make.
Yes, sir.
Texas A&M Forestry Service, Texas the trigger point for a burn ban is KBGI 575. We are currently at 544. That is an average, not a
Yeah.
minimum is 435 and max is 605. I'm just bringing that up for the people listening.
Right.
On-
Yeah.
on
You know,
the-
Mickey, that was last week. We're already several days past that.
They do those on Thursdays, yeah.
That was Thursday, so we could very well,
20, yeah, 20.
Yeah.
we've not improved much.
So, no, it's going.
No, at the current rate, we're gonna exceed it this week.
Oh, it's dried out tremendously over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Muller to enact a burn ban. And that's with the restrictions we normally have on outdoor things like welding and all that. I want to put that in there. Do that. Ms. Jennings, any comments? Okay. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item 3 is receive an update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects, and county courthouse annex. Commissioner Beecham.
Well, broken record again. We are getting sheetrock installed now. Pretty much the projects it's just in the monotony stage right now, just building back out. So hopefully, I said last week we would get our construction fence taken down at the annex, but the persons that were doing the caulking never came, so that hasn't been removed. I have not visited with them this morning to see what the plan is to get that done. So,
Matt, are you still on there?
Yes, sir.
Do you know anything about the caulking?
About the caulking?
Yeah, over on the sidewalk at the annex?
No, sir, we haven't heard anything.
Well, okay. That's all we lacking, and that'll be ready to be.
yeah, that's all that's remaining in that.
What is that? There's a little indention in the sidewalk. Is that so people can park a little farther
Yeah,
off?
so park correctly, yeah.
But that's not handicap
That's
parking.
not
like it used to be.
ADA parking.
The ADA parking is out front.
Out front, correct.
What an improvement that project has made to that building.
Yeah.
Just to make, you don't appreciate it till you saw what it was, and then you drive by and see it today. It's a major step forward.
You mentioned last week they made one of the floor cuts, and we're going to make another one for the elevator. Is that?
Yeah, we're up to the fourth floor level now, making the floor cuts, so they removed the third floor last week. So we're up to the fourth floor level, getting ready to take that one out, so they should have that hallway closed off today.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions about the construction projects at the courthouse or the annex?
Judge, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We had discussed about a month ago, looking at these, projects on the spreadsheets as far as what has been allocated versus what has been paid out. Would it be possible maybe next Monday to have those spreadsheets where we could kind of see what's been committed? And, you had spoke earlier about some of that paid out of permanent improvement. Are we able to back up and capture some of that with ARPA money?
I think the auditor can make that transfer. She looks at that, goes over that list again and see what we think. But we felt like some of it might not qualify, but most of it would. But the answer, and a part of that, remember now, is coming out of that $10 million of lost revenue. So while that came from the ARPA funds, it's not, does not have to meet that criteria like the balance of that money will.
Sure.
So we're covered either way, but we certainly, and we have our list to go by of those things. So I think we're fine, but we can certainly ask her to look at that. And we're not going to be here next Monday. We're going to be here next Tuesday. Just
Tuesday, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right, it is 10.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Since we're talking about this fireworks deal, and I know it's not an agenda item, but could we ask a implementation question? Just if we did that, how it would work? And my point is we're not going to be here next Monday meeting, and so could you do an emergency order?
I can do an emergency order.
Like late in the week.
And it'd be good for 60 hours, then it has to go to the governor for approval.
Okay, so it'd be very difficult to.
And I think it'd be a sounder thing if we had the Keach-Byram index was at 575 or above.
And it could be.
But we won't know that until next Thursday.
We won't know next Thursday. And then I was just wondering about procedures because you get into this holiday and it gets interesting as to when you would do this or that, or if that should need to be done. And then would that ban sales? Is that what you do, or just
That's what.
So you would want
Okay, I think we're getting a little far afield, but I'm just saying.
But we kind of need to know what the procedure is.
Well, I think we may have to do a little more research because we are past the June 11th date. We are starting to get out into some uncharted waters. And even Jim Allison gives you guarded answers on that.
Well, and I've got people asking me,
Yeah.
what does this mean? And I don't really have the information as to what's out there and what's waiting. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No. Okay, no, I think people are going to have, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's going to be asked here in just a few minutes too. All right. It is 10:29 and we're adjourned.